Hello, everybody, and welcome. As we like to do every week, we like to take a look at the past week's market activity and then kind of bounce around the market and look for something to trade. Just FYI, just got a new computer. The sound quality on my recordings I know isn't great for whatever reason, so I'm playing with it. I'm working on it. It will get resolved over the next hopefully week or two so we can get back to a better quality sound. But in the meantime, still still legible. You can still hear me, just not great. Anyways, here is the S&P 500. Of course, it's been bouncing around kind of this area now for a couple months. Pretty wild ride. It's been up, it's been down, but over the course of like a week, if we look at let's say the whole week, pretty much went nowhere, right? So a lot of big moves, but in the end, kind of right back where we started. And because of that, volatility is still pretty low, only at 21. If we go to the QQQ, obviously looks fairly similar, always does. The IV is almost exactly the same at 22. Nothing special there. The only one that ever seems to look much different is the IWM, and that's really because of this huge move right here. Otherwise, it's a fairly similar looking chart outside of the fact that it's not near its all-time highs. Also, volatility very low here as well, 21, 22. They're all about the same. But we're finishing up our series on BOGES. BOGES, just as a reminder, is kind of the acronym I use for supposedly, it changes over time, but supposedly non-correlated assets. So when I say BOGES, what I really mean is bonds, oil, gold, euro, and SPY/any other indices that you want. SPY, NASDAQ, IWM. I use this acronym for myself just to remind me, like, hey, when I start at the beginning of the year and I want to put on all my trades in the various indices, this is where I start out. I do the bonds, oil, gold, SPY, Qs, IWM, etc. So we've done all of these so far. We've done these three mainly. Euro is always a tough one to trade, as I mentioned before in the last video. It's not very liquid, so I really don't trade it much. I keep it here just as a reminder. It is something you can use as a non-correlated asset, but tough to trade the options. They're not very liquid, not a lot of premium in them, meaning you can't really make much money with them. So I leave that out most of the time unless something crazy happens and it spikes in volatility. So our last one here is bonds. So if we go to bonds, we use TLT as the ETF to trade bonds. You can see here bonds have been kind of on a constant slide for 6-9 months now, and they just recently hit the low right here, and they've kind of bounced since then. So we've kind of been in a range in the last couple of weeks, but you can see it's been on a downward slide for a long time. So around 85 is kind of the low we hit after this 6 or 8 month slide. So that's what I'm going to use as my low, because as a contrarian, I feel like there's a better chance of it going up from the lows than down from the lows. So what we're going to do is, and you can see because it's been on this wild ride, obviously volatility is much higher in the TLT or the bonds than it is in the index or the overall marketplace. So we go to the trade page, close it up. We're going to go as close to 45 days as possible. Right here it's perfect. This will be 46 tomorrow when we open it up. I've already set this up for us. What we're doing here is, you can see, just for ease of math, we're going to say that the price is about 88. I've sold the put that's kind of right where the recent low was at 85. So that's on the low side. So it's about $3 away. Oops. I see here this is supposed to be 83. Let me just adjust this. There we go. Sorry about that. Now we're fixed. So I sold it right near the lows at 85, making this a $2 wide put vertical. And then on the call side, I tried to go up as far as I could, but there's not a lot of room because bonds, even with high volatility, bonds aren't very volatile. So you can see this is a little under 3 from the 87.76. And this is a little bit more than $3 away. I'm leaving a little bit more room on the call side. So I'm selling the 91 call, buying the 93 call to make this a $2 wide iron condor. So again, I'm going as close as I can to the lows over here for the put side, and I'm trying to go as far away as I can on the call side. Again, because bonds are a fairly low volatility instrument, even when volatility is high, you can't go very far. You can see I'm a little under $3 away here, a little over $3 away over here, and that's the best you can do pretty much in this scenario. So As long as we're collecting at least 66 cents or more, we know this is a good trade. So tomorrow when TLT opens up, assuming everything stays the same, we're going to go to around 85 and then up to about 91, create a $2 wide iron condor. As long as we're collecting at least 66, man, everything's freaking out today. At least 66 cents or more, we are good. And that will be our trade in TLT for tomorrow. I am excited to let you know I've completed a book that is now available to everyone that wants to get it, called Learn to Trade in 7 Days. This is a book that will take you from absolute ground zero, as far as knowing absolutely nothing about options, all the way to trading them. Now, I'm so intent on getting this book to you because I really believe it is such a valuable resource for anybody and everybody that I'm going to offer an incredible deal on this, so stick with me on this. But before we get there, I want to show you what the book entails. The book is broken down into 7 days. Day 1 being, what is an option? You'll learn everything about options themselves. We'll compare stocks versus options. Then we'll get into basic option strategies like the vertical. And finally, we'll wrap it up with how to trade verticals, and then the making and managing of trades, which is, to me, the key to success long term above all. Now, as I mentioned, if you get into it now, if you go to this link, you can get this book for only $9.99. And I know that may not appeal to a lot of people because a lot of people aren't into books, but I'm so intent on getting you this book because I really believe it is such a valuable resource to anybody and everybody that I'll also throw in any one of my courses right here available on Udemy right now. So for only $9.99, you not only get the book itself, but you get one free course, which can be valued for as much as $100 depending on when and where you buy these courses. Again, just go to this link here and it'll take you to this page where, as you can see, you'll get the book and one of my courses for only $9.99. So really can't be beat. So again, just to reiterate, go to this link here. You will get my book, which you can hang on to forever, and I really believe it's such a vital resource. I'm throwing in a course to really get you motivated to buy this book. That's how important I really believe this book is. The book and one of my courses for only $9.99 simply by going to this link. Please jump on this opportunity. It is something you really will be happy you did.